What's up, guys? YogiZilla here. This is episode 146 of HorsePLAY Live Uncut. A little brief pre-show, not so much of a pre-show, just testing audio, make sure everything's good. Obi's here. BFT's already in the chat, BFT 9000. One of our biggest loyalists. He's always rocking.
Well, he's also the band hammer, so, you know.
We gotta have the band hammer. If we don't have that, it's problems. Shout out to the Stacey Roy who's streaming too. I see her. I see you, girl. Let me test the audio. Let me know if you hear this, Obi.
You are listening.
Yep.
Sweet. So, folks, just a little preview before we get to it. What the heck? Cats are going ham. They're knocking shit over outside. I'm like, it sounds like there's a war. I'm scared to even look. But yeah, tonight we're gonna talk about fantasy football. We're gonna talk more Xbox gaming. We're getting caught up with the community. Some fall TV, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. particularly, maybe Lucifer.
Yahoo!
We're gonna thank you for the host. See, now you can hear it when we get the notification. That's good.
It's so funny.
Yeah, that's our notification for hosting. Yahoo! Yeah, we'll talk a little bit about the latest WWE pay-per-view, PPV, whatever you want to call it. Blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm kind of caffeinated. We're
It was
gonna.
kind of hype, dude. It was really hype, dude.
I really enjoyed it. I should have called. I should have called you, texted you, so we could go in the chat. I kind of watched it ninja like. I didn't catch it when it first aired. I caught it after. I caught the second showing.
Yeah, we started late on it. Like I don't know. I was starting at around 7, and then I got into doing something, and then we started around 8:30.
Yeah, because I was doing really well on Rainbow Six Siege, and then want to leave the group I was with, and it was a pug, but it was a really good pug. And then I was like, yo, I really want to watch this pay-per-view, and I'm glad I did. I did skip ahead on a lot of the fights. I did do that, so I may have missed some of the things, but I just kind of wanted to see how they panned out.
You didn't miss much, dude.
Yeah, I really wanted to see how they would pan out. I wanted to see the narrative they were kind of building up.
Still intrigued on how this is kind of going, what direction this is going in.
Yeah, it seems like there's a lot of long play games going on.
Right. Well, we don't have time for a pre-show, so we got to start the regular show.
Let me know when you're ready. Let me know when you're ready.
Sorry, just saying, guys. 1 o'clock, I'm leaving. So
I'm just BSing to you. Let me know you're ready.
I'm ready, man.
Are you live? You live?
Yeah, give it 8 seconds. Well, there's the delay start, so like this recording doesn't start until 3, 2, 1.
You are listening to an All Games Radio Network broadcast of allgames.com.
Hi, this is Normie from Knuckleballer Radio and Zombie Cast, and you're listening to one of my favorite shows on the Geeky Antics Network. Don't forget to check out the rest of the gang over at geekyantics.net. Warning, there might be rants and food ahead and possibly inappropriate behavior. Don't tell anybody though.
And welcome back, Geeks, Gamers, Ninjas, Robots, and whoever else listens to this show. Everybody, it's HorsePLAY Live. Today is Thursday, September 29th, 2016. This episode 146 entitled Extra Life Fantasy Football Week 4, Rainbow Six Siege, and other goodies. I straight up said, shut up, shut the hell up in chat. Like, I didn't even know how to was like, shout the hell up, bro.
I've been shouting. I'm shouting in the chat.
All right. And as you guys can hear, I'm always joined by the one they call the filthy favorite hardcore casual bear lizard, whatever else. The man behind the scenes at geekyantics.net and all things affiliated Geeky Antics, YogiZilla. What's up, man?
What's up? And I'm warning you, I'm hype on just everything. Well, mostly everything. Some things are not so hype, but you know, everything else has been productive. Good week for TV. We kicking some butt in some competitive play, and you know, and I'm caffeinated. So.
And he beat my royal ass on Sunday.
Oh yeah, after all the junkies spoke.
Yeah, I didn't know your freaking defense was gonna get you 40 freaking points.
I didn't
like,
even,
are you serious?
I didn't even need them.
I know, you didn't even need your defense to beat me. I mean, it was sad. I mean, it was very, very sad. Like, I don't know. I don't know what to think, man.
Well, hopefully we'll get to it, but we kind of called it before the season officially started that this is going to be a year where all the notions we have of fantasy football are going to be challenged. Well, all the things experts were saying we're going to, you know, half of them are going to result in disappointments, and that's what's happening. You know, the tried and true players are disappointing. Unexpected players are stepping up, and you know, you had to go into the season with some weird draft strategy. I mean, you guys were laughing at me, and I go, "Really? You're gonna go with that first?" And I'm like, "Yep," and it worked for me. But we'll get to that. We'll get to that.
It's all right, man. I'm not really worried about it. I'm this one right here, this league that we're in right now. This is for fun. This is the TST league, and we're just kind of, you know, we probably could have started it right around now and had, you know, 16 people in there, but it's all good. So we're gonna, I believe, I don't know, we're still thinking about starting that next one, week 6, which we're quickly coming up on it. So don't know exactly. I can tell you that right now, because no offense to NFL.com, but your shit sucks.
Their app sucks, at least. It's like the most basic app ever.
Yeah, and a lot of people that play fantasy football, especially in multiple leagues, they're on an app of some sort. They're on their Kindle, their tablet, their iPad. They're not on their PC computer because they're watching football. So it's
yeah, and a lot of people don't even know those apps exist. It's crazy. I just told Abby, I was like, hey, you know, because everybody has the excuse, I've been really busy. No, you haven't. I know people that are really busy, and they still make time. You aren't that busy. You just don't know how to manage your time. I said, mobile app. While you're taking a dump, it takes literally like a minute to set your lineup. And then maybe if you want to work the waiver wire, you know, look up some rankings to get a good idea of what you want to look for. And then, you know, spend 10, 15 minutes. Maybe send out some trade offers. Now's the time to do it. Now's the time to start doing that. Because the bye weeks are starting. But anyway, before we jump too deep into that, I do want to say, and I'm not going to get into it, we don't want to go too long on the tangents tonight, because we are on the clock, so to speak. But everybody's Santa Claus! Thanks for those. So I know everybody's on point, right? Yeah, the political debate happened. I'm not going to say who I preferred, but you know, Donald Trump definitely looked like an idiot, and you know, it's if you go to our Facebook page, there's some discussion there. It's unavoidable. We're not trying to really get into it, but people just can't help themselves. But you have a guy that has a history of going into debt and starting businesses that go bankrupt, and then you have someone who's evil as well, but at least she understands politics. She's a better leader, and she's not much of a dumbass. So it's like, well, the lesser dumbass wins. That's kind of how I feel. And I know other people want to say, well, vote independent, but unless everyone that's voting independent doesn't vote on the, you know, everybody has to vote on the same candidate in order for it to mean anything. Otherwise, Trump or Clinton are gonna win. So it's like I'm not gonna vote for either one of them. Then one of them is gonna win. So that's what I want to say. That's just like a little quick PSA. I don't want to get into it because everybody gets butthurt about it. I mean, people are like, oh, get your tactical gear, get your rations, you know, build that fallout shelter. This is where shit really goes to hell. And I'm like, oh, yeah, I mean, you know, whatever. We're all going to move to Canada. By the way, my friends in Canada are saying that the housing market is picking up even more because people are preemptively moving to Canada now. I'm guessing that they're gonna have like a surge in population, maybe 2 or 3 times the population within 5 years.
Dude, it's getting bad enough. Like, I have friends that are constantly, you guys hear me joke about it all the time. Oh, hey, Fifi, when the presidency happens, we're moving to Canada. Like, but people are really saying, screw you, we're moving to Canada. It's,
yep.
It's not, I don't know.
The grass is always greener on the other side, or at least it seems that way. But I have Canadian friends that have moved to the States, so, you know, everyone's sick and tired of where they're at, or they just want to change their pace. But I do feel that we Americans have become very pussified, and we just complain about everything. Everything sucks. Everything pisses us off. Everything starts a debate. It's like, well, rather than just arguing and being entitled, let's do things that will bring change. Let's build businesses that will stimulate our economy. Let's create jobs. Let's inspire people. Let's uphold each other. That's the kind of stuff we need to do. Let's rally behind good causes. But speaking of a cause, this is a segue over. You like this? Speaking of a great cause, Extra Life. And I gotta say, I'm underwhelmed by the response. Look, guys. It takes you a few seconds to share our post. Go to the Facebook page, facebook.com/Geeky Antics. You're gonna see we have an Extra Life photos album. You can share our promos off of there, share it off of our wall, and just share the link, geekyantics.net/Extra Life. It's super easy. You know, I understand some people are truly tight on money. I don't want anybody donating if they can't really afford it. You know, you gotta do it wholehearted. You gotta be comfortable with it. You know, people ask, how much should I donate? Well, the average donation, as far as every time I look at Extra Life, and every time I've done it, and every time other people on our team have done it, you know, the average donation is usually around $50. You know, yeah, you could donate less. You could, you know, donate what you want, but you know, it's just that's basically the only thing I can say. So we are creating incentives for brands that are donating $100 or more. I'm putting together a whole packet for that. I've been approaching different brands, different businesses, you know, streamers, internet personalities, stuff like that, content creators, just all kinds of people, local businesses, to try to get some little jump on that. But you know, it's slow moving, but we'll get that going. So Extra Life, please get on it. That's the big plug for tonight. Rara Pruda in the house. What's up, man? See that? Hey, that's the Canadian right there. A Canadian that's relocated to the States. He's down south.
Yeah, he's probably going back. He's like, fuck this. I'm going back to Canada.
He loves it where he's at because he's like close to the border of Texas. And with the way he has it set up, he takes advantage of the cheap housing market in Louisiana. And then the general cost of living is cheaper there. But then he goes to Texas and he buys groceries cheaper there. And he drives like about an hour. Like he buys milk for like $1, $2, that's super cheap for a gallon of milk.
Yeah, it's like $3.49 here.
Yeah, I know people that have been telling me that it's like $6, $7 where they're at. I'm like, Jesus.
Yeah.
Can you imagine?
This is crazy.
Oof.
Crazy.
We go through milk in this household, man. We will tear some milk up between cereal. I like to put a little bit of milk in scrambled eggs when I make that, which is not too often. You know, some of the things you use milk, pancakes. You know, all kinds of different batters. You know, you may want just a glass of milk. I like a glass of milk. I put ice chips in my milk. I don't know. People say that's weird because it's watered down, but nice ice cold milk. Oh, 89 cents for milk. Good Lord. That's really good.
God damn, I hate you, bro.
He saves. He did the math and said, well, you know, if you gotta calculate the hour each way in gas, you know, 'cause a lot of people don't think about that. And he says he still saves like $200 to $300 in groceries, which is quite a bit.
Saving $200 or $300 for groceries, yeah, that's worth it in itself, dude.
Yeah, and he's smart too. They try to do it like once a month or something. BFT said that's weird, the ice chips thing. I'm not the only one that does it. Sean Freeman over in ZombieCast does that too, and Knuckleballer Radio, can't forget them. Chunky milk is weird. Yeah, it's just refreshing. Like, sometimes you want something that has, and this is going to sound kind of weird too, but a nice body to it, kind of like a stout. You know how the stout is kind of thick, and it fills you up, and you can nurse it. And milk's like that. You can't really chug milk. I mean, you could, but you shouldn't. So you can just enjoy
you
it.
get sick as fuck when you do it.
Yeah. Like, have you seen like those crazy competitions where people chug gallons of milk? Like, I love milk, but that even makes me sick.
Yeah. Well, guys, tonight on the show, what all these milk chugging, we got some brief tech and gaming industry news to discuss before we get into our main events tonight. It's the first bye week in NFL. He already said that, so we're gonna see where people are gonna kind of go with our fantasy stuff. Fall TV is off to an amazing start. We've been watching, I think, some shows are at 2 episodes, some are at 1 this week, and then basically it's going to be next week is going to be the very last week that the fall episodes or the fall shows are starting. So hopefully we'll be able to talk about that a little bit. Did we mention Extra Life, guys? Yep. Join the calls, guys. It's not something that, not going to beg you. But if you are looking for a good cause to support, Extra Life is the way to go. We get to play cool video games for you guys. We get to be live streaming for hours on end, so you guys have awesome content to come and watch us and chill with us and talk with us. And then what's for those that donate, you get cool shit. Well, you're helping a kid too.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, outside of the incentives, like let's say you're just a really shitty person, you don't care that kids are suffering and they're dying, and $5 is not worth it for you to help that. You're too cheap. Like very few people can say they don't have the $5, $10 to spare. But let's say you're just a shitty person. All right, well, free publicity, and maybe you could feel a little bit better about yourself, and then go back to be a shitty person. That's one way to do it.
Yeah. But if you guys want to comment, share, donate, and consider joining our team, guys, you guys can go to do that and go to geekyantics.net/extra life. If you're listening live, come join everyone. Come join us in Discord. We'd love to have you. And, of course, our chat rooms over at allgames.com and, of course, twitch.tv/geekyantics. Better yet, come join us on Discord. I already said it, but I'm going to say it again. Come join us on Discord. We always like extra people to come in and chime in on what their 2 cents, if you will. But by the way, if you guys are new to the show, welcome to the gang.
Woo!
What's the gang? Yeah, you did. What's the gang, guys? Geeky Antics Network Global Gang, GANG. It's the gang that we call over here at Community at Geeky Antics. Hashtag Geeks United, Unite, and hashtag Pattern Family.
Word.
Yeah. This show covers. This show covers. Yeah, I'm already ending, right?
I know.
This show is all about you guys. It is. It's all about you guys, the geeks, gamers, content creators that give a voice to little guys, just to bring out some new things, some new ideas, and then overall to shake things up. Just because, no sense in having the same old shit every week, right? Yogi has to rewrite this probably once a month.
Yeah, keep it fresh.
So it's not the same thing for me. I'll read it, and he knows I will. And you guys have heard me read his ridiculous corrections. Verbatim. But I do it. Anyway, First Line Live is where geeks come to play and get in trouble. I'm not 9 times out of 10 now. It's 10 out of 10 every time, and you guys know it. So we're the flagship talk radio show for Geeky Antics Network in collaboration with allgames.com, Tangent Bound Network, TuneIn Radio, Stitcher, and more. Our show covers all the geek aspects of geek culture with a special focus on Indian strategy games, technologies, rants, issues that geeks face, and of course, community events we try to be a part of, we're trying to put on ourselves. Yeah, I'm not going to say it again, but we rant like a motherfucker, okay? Sometimes we can talk about tabletop and retro gaming and food. Why? Because we can. Yogi, you want to tell everybody a little bit more about the show?
What I want to say before I get into that, I'm very proud to say that the Geeky Antics Network, out of over 1 million hits on most search engines, Google, Bing, Yahoo, whatever you're using, we are showing up on the front page, if not at #1 of search results. That makes me proud as hell. That means people are finding our content and they're finding it useful and unique, and they're coming back to it. They're voting with their engagement. And you know, even with that, it's sad. Most people still lurk, but the traffic, I see the traffic, and that's why we always go through this spiel, because we know there's new people joining us all the time. And
Right.
and this show is the vein of the Geeky Antics Network. You know, it's part of it. It's a way for us to get back to the community and collaborate with our independent contributors. And you know, this is a live show; it's uncut, so crazy things, you know, can and will happen. And you know, we try not to be too crazy. Every now and then we get really crazy. I mean, it's definitely NSFW, but we just believe in being authentic, just keeping it real with you guys. And like Obi pointed out, we rant a lot, just like I am right now. And unlike some shows that say they're live, we actually engage with our audience. We acknowledge you. We want to get you involved, not just during the show, but before and after the show. And then really the derailing, you know, we account for the derailing. It's part of the fun. We're passionate about what we do. You know, we're just having a good time. We're trying to do something different. We're trying to create more unity in the geeky and gaming spaces. And you know, we actually keep an open mind, have fun with us. And remember, this is HorsePLAY. With a name like that, you can only expect 4 things: horses, furries, bronies, and shenanigans. And we're trying to stick to the latter, not so much of the bronies and furries. So I don't judge.
Tiger Claw said, you know, it's the way when you actually have your community join you in some gaming, you can just call it a gangbang.
You know, that'll probably be our
I am gonna for sure say that the first stream I'm on and be like, "Welcome to the Extra Life Gangbang." I'm gonna say it.
Oh God, maybe not during Extra Live. We want to represent them properly, even though, you know, we're not partnered with them. We're still, like, you know, representing their brand.
There's nothing wrong with that. That's people's mind. I'm talking about Gang Geeky Antics Network Global. And
Well,
we're
yeah,
banging.
Again, oversensitive world.
If people take that out of context, move to Canada.
Listen.
Don't forget Geeks Rock Stars. HorsePLAY Live is every Thursday at 11 p.m. Eastern Time, 8 p.m. Pacific, 4 a.m. GMT on Twitch channels Geeky Antics, and simulcasted over on YogiZilla. For those that have, you know, the semi-crappy connection or on mobile.
Or pay for your data usage. Sorry.
Or,
I had to say it.
Right. HorsePLAY Replay is also available earlier at about 5 p.m. on Thursdays Eastern Time on the network that started G4 TV, of course, All Games Radio Network, allgames.com. So you guys go over there about 5 o'clock, hit that live or chat button, and just kind of sit there and chat for a few, you know, give us, you know, 10 minutes. Be grateful. Even if you don't want to sit there and chat, just turn it on and mute it and put it in the background. We really appreciate it. It does help. You guys have no idea, but it does help.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And then we have some technical issues, so bear with them. You know, everybody goes through growing pains. We're going through our own. You know, sometimes people, you know, the funny thing about growing and about success is that people always want it, but they don't realize the work that comes with it. And then it's like, whoa, that the hard part is sustaining that growth and repeating the success, so you don't implode. And that's the tough part. That's the part no one really talks about. Like, how do you keep up with the demand and keep consistent with your quality? So it's a lot of work. It ain't easy. It ain't easy being green. Yo,
are you ready?
Oh, I'm ready.
Is your body ready?
Oh, my body's ready.
Is your mind ready?
Oh my God.
And now it's time for the obligatory news and rants.
Ding.
Yeah, that's when you're supposed to ding.
That's right.
Dirtbag.
That's right. Look, I've been on point the past 2 weeks. Let a brother live. So, folks, you know,
dinged once. I mean, you've already you dinged earlier. Don't forget Geek Rock Stars. Like you,
I felt like dinging. Let me ding when I want to ding.
You dinged at the beginning of the show.
I wanna listen. I wanna keep things fresh.
What do we got for news, man?
So we're talking about
guys some news today. Stop yelling at us.
We're talking about Canada, and we got a little bit Canadian news here. The Canadian smartphone maker BlackBerry has announced that they will no longer manufacture phones with their iconic physical keyboards and trackball/touchpads. And it seems like they're finally abandoning BlackBerry OS 10 and focusing on Android to kind of reestablish the market share. Other sources indicate that BlackBerry has laid off hundreds of employees. They may be looking at focusing on software and enterprise solutions, which really, you know, that's where they really got their claim to fame, and that's where they're still really big. A lot of execs, a lot of older folks, you know, the baby boomer generation, they're still big on BlackBerry. I'm kind of on that cusp where I'm like, I like the new technology, but I miss physical keyboards, and I wish I could have the features of Android with like a slide-out keyboard. I could use it when I feel like it. You know, they started having like these hybrid touchscreen / keyboard phones, you know, and they stopped doing it. Like, there was a phone I remember that the keyboard would slide out, and you had the option. So if your touchscreen wasn't working properly, you had that to fall back on. So I don't know. I guess I haven't really completely come around. But what's interesting though, BlackBerry, people don't really think about them as a contender anymore, but they still generate around 2.2 billion in revenue a year, at least the past couple of years, which is not a shabby number, you know. Until you realize that's way less than half of what they used to bring in. So, you know, I feel kind of bad. Most people don't care. It's like, yeah, it's BlackBerry. No one cares about them anymore. They were the big thing, and then they just disappeared. And again, it's kind of, like I said, success. The tough part is sustaining success and being ready for what comes afterwards. You have to be ready to adapt and pivot. There's a business term for you. Pivot. Reiterate.
Pivot.
Wait, what's this? BFT says in chat. Step 1, have no quality. Step 2, never promise anything more. Step 3, ... Step 4, profit. Oh, and to your point earlier, OB, I know we try to keep the time, but I like the gangbang thing, but I can see people, like, overly the world. It's the same people that complain about being sexual, which is mind-boggling. I still don't get that.
Well, fuck them too.
Be like, promoting violence. They're promoting violence. You win. If there's something to complain about, people will win it. Like, alright, so back to the news. Biggest media conglomerate that you probably never heard of, NAI, National Amusements Incorporated, called upon CBS Corporation, and Viacom Incorporated to explore a merger. Now, this has been going on and off for a while now, but the talks have escalated, and it's already bumped up Viacom shares by close to 10%. But CBS CEO Leslie Moonves is resistant to the idea of recombination, though they would gain the brand power of mainstays such as Comedy Central, Nickelodeon, MTV. You know, hey, those still matter, right? Well, I like Comedy Central, Nickelodeon, MTV not so much. It's not the channel used to be. So you're probably saying, hey, who cares? This sounds really like corporate, but these kind of things have an impact on the marketplace. You know, you look at the Comcast. NBC Universal move, and then now they've been talking on and off with Time Warner Cable. And I always feel like diversity is always better for the consumer, and the more there's mergers, the worse it is for consumers and shareholders usually. So there's something to keep an eye on. And upon thinking a little further, it does seem that the move would make Viacom look better on paper and help, you know, spread their $12 billion debt. That's quite a bit of debt. Then again, this is a mega corporation, so, you know, Oh yeah, and Tiger Claw wants to point out that Viacom owns Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Viacom owns just about everything. You know, Viacom used to be very pervasive. They used to have the little thing that would show up before, like cartoons and different shows. But now, like, you don't even, you know, see them anymore. Like, they're just like in the shadows, running everything. Like, they're like, I would say they're like one of like 20 companies that are so huge that if something happened to them, things would just explode everywhere. Maybe possibly too big to fail. Sumner Redstone, NAI CEO and Viacom founder, really wants to push for the merger, as sources says he's attached to Viacom subsidiaries such as Paramount Studios. There's another big brand right there, Paramount. Everybody knows Paramount. They're like on every other movie. Well, they're not as big as they used to be, but they're the one with the unicorn, right, Obi? That their little intro in the movies? Yeah, I think that's them. Or that's TriStar. I always confuse them. Oh, Paramount is the mountain. Paramount's the mountain. Redstone is 93 years old. This is what's crazy. And this guy's still freaking working and cracking the whip and making business moves like this. I have to wonder if this is like a dying man's last wish. Like, just merge, please. Before I die, just do it. And you may have seen Redstone. If you never heard the name, chances are you probably have seen him at some point. He's got a very familiar face. The man gets around. So anyway, moving on to more exciting news, and perhaps more relevant news. Speaking of TV, this is a really big thing, very big thing. The last season of Adventure Island, not Adventure Island. I'm thinking of video games. Adventure Time. Wow, my head's always in video games.
Wow,
Adventure
bro.
Time. Yeah,
Right.
no, that just happened. Adventure Time is coming up 2018, last season. Then I put the show at around 148 episodes. What's neat about this show is it came out of nowhere, really. I don't know what the creators did before the show, but it just felt like it was just an overnight success, right? In its debut year, it peaked at 2.5 million viewers on average, I believe. That's really good for TV. I mean, you look at shows like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I love, but I think Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is like a 1.2 show, you know, on a good week. So something to think about. We still got 2 years. There's still time. Now the show, you know, will be missed, but we'll still have shows like Rick and Morty, which I'm a huge fan of. Harmon Quest, which I still have to catch more of, and Steven Universe, which I really feel like is gunning for that throne that Adventure Time has. It really makes you think a lot of that show. I don't even know if the same people are involved or what, but I watch Steven Universe. I'm like, I think they're going for the same audience, but you know, all great shows in their own rights. You like Adventure Time, Obi?
Is that with that weird ass dog and that kid?
Yeah, the dog with the glasses. You know, I'm not as huge in it as some people are, but I get the appeal. It's got a real charm to it. It's unique. And like what's neat about it is, I think what people respond to it so well is because the creators, you can tell they put a lot of love into it. Like they have lessons and really like strong themes in there without shoving them down your throat. And this feels, man, this feels on it. It's almost like a video game. The adventures they go through, like their little boss battles and everything. But like it's done really well, you know. And the art style is unique. Some people might say it's shitty, but I'll say unique. So back to video games, since my head's already there apparently. Adventure Island. So the Sony spokesperson recently admitted that No Man's Sky's PR strategy, I think the quote wasn't the best. And then it says they went on to say something about the Hello Games could have used a good PR firm or good representation to control the message more effectively. And I'm like, isn't that what you as the publisher are there for? Or weren't you backing them? Like what's they were involved. I know that they didn't own the game, but they were heavily involved. So it's like, okay, well, as if that wasn't bad enough, now they're under investigation. Hello Games is, not Sony. The ASA, Advertising Standards Authority, yes, that is a thing, has confirmed that they are investigating Hello Games for false advertising. Now, they can't confirm the details of what's going to be really a long, ongoing investigation, I feel. But they have confirmed that they're looking at promotional videos and screenshots regarding the UI, ship flying behavior, animal behavior, size of animals, large-scale space combat, flowing water and aiming systems, and other things that were sorely misrepresented. Even the quality of the game's graphics, and by extension the performance, may be called into question. So, this is just I don't know, man. No Man's Sky, man. That game has just ruffled a lot of feathers, and I don't want to be that guy. Like, I don't want to seem entitled. I know it's a small dev team, but I think they aim too high, and even though they didn't really promise much, they allowed people to believe what they believe. It was very misleading, the things they were saying, and unfortunately, it's a great company that just made some bad decisions, and they're paying for it now. And I hate to say it, because it's, I hate seeing smaller companies suffer, but marketing it's a tough thing. That's why you hire people to help you with it, and don't try to do it yourself. Sorry, Sean Murray.
Bazinga.
Bazinga. There you go. So quick deals for cheap bastards. We forgot to mention this every month, but Ubi 30, the 30 years of Ubisoft celebration is still going on. Log in to the Uplay app, or Club Ubisoft, whatever they're calling it these days. I think it's still called Uplay. The Club Ubisoft is the mobile app. And you can get the crew for free this month. Previous games that we forgot to mention were Rayman Origins, Splinter Cell, I forgot what else they had before that, and Prince of Persia: Sands of Time, which we did report a few times. The games all seem to be aiming for that 5 to 10 year or older mark, so I wouldn't expect anything from this generation or a recent noteworthiness, but it's still cool. Free stuff is free. Can't complain. If you have to download it, you can add it to your library, and there'll be a link to your Uplay account, so that's cool too. Games with Gold, I think we already talked about this last week. Assassin's Creed Chronicles China is on there, Earthlock and Mirror's Edge via Xbox 360 backwards compatibility. And they just confirmed Lost Odyssey is backwards compatible, which we reported also on Facebook. That's pretty cool. Making me nostalgic, actually. And that's it. That's all we'll cover today. You have anything to add, Obi? Alright, good talk. Where did Obi go? Obi left me. He said goodbye, but he didn't. Where'd he go? Wait. Oh, okay. He's had to step away. Gotcha. I should really look at the chat. Haha. Well, we'll just jump right in to our little quickie fantasy football week 4. Like we said earlier, it's the first bye week where, and this is where we really start to see which teams are the true contenders for the playoffs, because it's really easy to say the team with the best starting lineup is, the most studs is the winner, but really the ones with the depth are gonna win, because it's not if the players will get injured, it's when. And if you don't have that depth, you don't have the depth to cover injuries or bye weeks, you're gonna have a tough time. So week 4 brings us only 2 teams out, Packers and Eagles, both really strong teams. So that is a big deal. Probably 2 of the strongest fantasy teams and strongest teams period in football right now. And that's NFL, not soccer. Just want to be clear on that. Because we do have a global audience. They're like, what are they talking about? Sure. Eagles and Packers. What are they? Are they like a farm league for Manchester?
The expansion team of Manchester.
Yeah, you're thinking the same thing. Like, no. The Fudge Packers, yeah, I know them. Anyway, if you want some scrub insights, I want to get a conversation going. We have a Facebook page, of course, Geeky Antics. We have the gaming group where we'll be talking a lot of fantasy football. Geeky Antics, PC and Xbox gaming community on Facebook. we're thinking about doing a fantasy group, but then that might be a little bit too much. I might still do it. Just have one place to have all the fantasy stuff, and I'll probably just be.
This is not like we're getting more and more into it every year. So like, to have that group, like especially like but like the TSC one where it's gonna grow to where you're gonna have to cut it off at however many teams, or have it to where people are have to have two fantasy football leagues. So
yeah. So maybe what we could do is just like combine, all our efforts, TSC and Geeky Antics and all our friends, and have one common group where we can just talk fantasy football. And because we're already having those conversations, but we can just have it in one place and then not bore the other people. Because that's one thing. A lot of gamers are like anti-sports because we tend to be introverts, and sports is more of like an outgoing type of thing. I find, especially like football, which is like probably one of the most popular sports these days. Like baseball isn't what it used to be. Basketball is still kind of niche, and hockey, that's like a even more niche thing, I feel. So football is really like where we come together.
I know quite a bit of people that like hockey.
I do too, but it's not as common.
But I don't follow hockey like I follow football.
Yeah, like I feel like maybe it's like a hipster thing to hate on the NFL. I feel like because like it's so mainstream. Like, well, I'm an introvert. I'm a little antisocial sometimes, but you got to break out of your comfort zone, and that's really what excites me about the NFL. It's a great way to make new friends, connect with old friends. If it wasn't for fantasy football, there were a lot of people we wouldn't keep up with.
Right.
Nagamitsu. Oh, ohayou gozaimasu. I don't know why I said it like that. I had like a brain fart, I think. Which I get a lot of those. So anyway, you can also email us, mail at geekyantics.net, tweet us at geekyantics. And I think if you're really passionate about talking football, I will gladly make you an admin on the new group, and I'll just make that. Because I like to have a place. There's a lot of great fantasy football podcasts and groups, but they tend to be geared towards like people that are real huge fans and like super competitive, and one more casual, and one more about come as you are and keeping it simple.
You guys have come so far from our first show. So proud of you guys.
Oh my God!
What the fuck is this?
That's Soldier. That's gotta be Soldier. Yeah. I know. We've come a long way, man. So we were just talking about at the beginning, all the stuff that's been going on.
10 episodes shy of 3 years.
Yeah, and a lot of people that listen to us there's been so much content and so many things that have happened. Most people think we've been doing this particular show for like 5, 6, 7 years. I'm like, no. It feels like that.
3.
But
yeah, especially dealing with me. But it's yeah, we're growing. we're having fun. Nice to see you again, pal.
It's overwhelming because like and again, I want to apologize to people that have been contacting me on Twitter and Facebook, going the extra step to show their interest. I definitely appreciate that. Joining the team. There is a post on our forums that explains what we're looking for, what we're focusing on right now. I've been getting a lot of messages on Facebook too, and email, and people are like, "Oh, do you do S for S? Shout out for shout out, or do you want to partner up?" I was willing to collaborate. Like I'm at this point where I really focus on people who are gonna follow through and really like team up and really, like collaborate, because I've invested so much time in clients that are just made to partners that are just kind of dead away. And me personally, I just can't do it anymore. My time is at a premium. So, oh, and so just saying, it started before I started a new job. That's right. Don't leave in peace. Stay for the show. We don't have much that long. We got like an hour. You gotta rock the beard.
Oh yeah. Of course I'm still rocking. Of course I'm still rocking the beard, man.
We all have.
Even though I got my camera on, Yogi, so that's why I said it. That's why he said that. But yeah, dude, my wife doesn't like it much. at all. But
she'll be all right.
Yeah, it's still there.
Oh. And so back to the fantasy football thing. Hit us up if you want us to make this happen, because I want to have people that will help contribute. You know, we gather different articles, you know, from different places. You know, talk about our favorite podcasts. You know, and just kind of key off what we're doing and provide our insights and theory craft. Like, that's something we really enjoy. Like, whether we're talking WWE or we're talking about our favorite TV shows, you know, or football, there's always a narrative, right? And you always want to get ahead of it. Like, what's the narrative here? What's the game script? You know, what's going to happen here? What are they trying to do?
We theory craft about everything.
Yeah.
Like,
so that's where.
Oh, don't you think this would be cool if this happened? Like, yeah.
Dude, that could be the name of the group, Geeky Antics Fantasy Football Theory Crafting. Ooh.
Maybe not even ing, just theory craft.
Theory craft? Yeah. There you go. Yeah. I think that might be it. We got dibs. Don't do it. If someone else does this before we do, we're calling you out, and we're gonna post a picture of goat nuts in your channel or a Facebook group. I don't know, something.
He is. I really. Yeah. I'm too bit. I'm at this point right now. Like, we got a meeting tomorrow, like I said, with the lawyers and stuff like that for the org. So it's kind of like I'm getting busier and busier, because then I actually try to make sure that I spend time with my kid. My wife's home now to where she's actually here, to where I see her when she wakes up.
Hey, new follower. Nagematsu.
Say who it is.
Nagemitsu.
I get to see her when she wakes up. I get to see her when she goes to bed, or when I go to bed, and it's just, it's awesome. So, but
speaking of which, Soldier's had like a couple of kids since we started this show.
Yeah, Homeboy's been pumping the kids out. Congrats on the new one, by the way.
Yeah, man. We gotta, you know, once we, because right now what we're doing, we're in the formulation phase. Like, you know, Obi's got his project going on. I got my project going on. We got the stuff we're doing for the network as a whole. Everybody's got their own pet projects. So we're kind of just trying to systemize things to make it more efficient, make things run smoother. Like, you know, people being able to apply for our team, you know, screening different partners, providing different channels for people to contact us and go and set up those partnerships and those collaborations, so that we can focus more on the things that we love, like streaming and having game nights and things you can't really automate. Because I hate automation, because a lot of people focus on that exclusively, and they forget to just say thank you to someone or let someone know, hey, I've been thinking about you. And Soldier, we always talk about you, man. We're always like, at least one in every 10 episodes, where we're like, you know what, Miss Soldier, and just think about you, you know. Good times.
Talk about your big Grizzly Adams ass every now and then.
Yeah, and it's always good.
Unless he's like bald with no beard now. I mean, I didn't.
Yeah, that's not happening. I can't see that. Yeah, his luscious hair. No, there's no way he'll get rid of that. Hey, listen, enjoy the hair while you still can. That's all I can say. But yeah, it's just great having those roundtable discussions, and you know, like between the three of us alone, our opinions and perspectives cannot be any more different, and it's great because too many shows that everybody just agrees with each other, and you know, we're not being contrarian just for the sake of, you know, contradicting each other, but you know, it's just we provide a different perspective, and it's interesting seeing where everybody's coming from, and that's where good conversations happen. So,
right.
But so back to football. Rob Gronkowski, the Gronk, says he's eager to come back. And he says something about he wants to do the crazy things that he does on the field. Like, this guy's got energy. I don't know if you've seen some of the animated GIFs and videos out there, but he does these weird dances. He's been like on different shows, and he's a funny dude. Oh, he said he got his beard cut and trimmed way down. Oh man, yeah.
It's all good.
Times they are changing. Yeah, you know, well, that's life. Things are always in flux. Adrian Peterson good old AP. He wants to come back this season, and I've been thinking for people that have that IR slot, it might be worth stashing him. And I'm saying this, and I might be shooting myself in the foot, but that's fine. But keep in mind that for fantasy purposes, you may only get 1 or 2 games from him if you stash him now. Because people are dropping him unless they're like in a dynasty or keeper format. Which, if that's the case, if someone's dropped him, definitely snatch him up for that long-term value. I mean, I don't think he's the AP we've known, because once players get dinged up, it's really tough for him to go back to 100% no matter what they do. But he's still a player with that kind of talent. You just can't ignore him no matter what age he is, what condition he's in. So, another big player that's been hankering to come back, Jamal Charles. Jamal Charles didn't come back in week 3, even though they kept saying, yeah, definitely, he's gonna come back. Then he didn't. He might come back in week 4, but I really don't feel good about starting him. I know he's a big player, but I don't think he's a must start until week 7. I think they have a week 6 bye. So, I don't see him, maybe even week 8. So, it might be time to, you can still sell, you can hold on to Spencer Ware, or maybe just, trade him high while he's still got value. But I think Spencer Ware still has some good games left in him. So, Obi, what do you want to go through? We have a few articles that we're going to go through. You want to go through some start-sit advice and then just move on to TV talk? I don't know how much in the mood you are to go deep on this.
On the football?
Yeah.
We can if you want to. I mean, I'd probably much rather to talk about the shows that just came out.
All right, so we'll keep it quick. You want to talk about quarterbacks to sit and start, running backs, wide receivers, tight ends, DSTs? What do you want to start?
You choose. I don't care.
All right, I'm going to start with running backs because that's the position that I think is the hardest, because I feel like running backs, and there's not really any data to support this, but I feel like that's the position where people get to hurt the most, and there's the least amount of depth. So I looked at some stats, and it said that the rate of wide receivers getting injured is higher than running backs, but there's less talent, less depth for fantasy at the RB position, so it hurts a lot more. That's what I feel like, because a team that's playing from behind isn't gonna rush as much, and that's the problem. A lot, unless you have a top offense, they're not gonna be running the ball as much. So it's that's how I look at it, at least, and my logic may be flawed. I know there's some holes there. So anyway, running backs, start of the weeks. This is according to NFL.com, which is not the end-all, be-all. It's a good place to start looking, but don't just stop there. Try to make your own opinion and look around, get the second or third opinion. It's kind of like going to the doctor. So the start of the week is C.J. Anderson versus the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and C.J. Anderson from what team is he on? The Bengals? Yeah, Bengals. No, the Broncos. Broncos. My bad. Completely different team. But I have him. I own him in one or two leagues, and I'm really happy to see that they believe this is going to be the start of the week. So that's pretty awesome. They're saying this is a very, very favorable matchup, and he's also one of the top backs out there. Melvin Gordon versus the Saints. That's one of those things where it's like, well, Saints have a shitty defense, so take advantage of it. If anyone that plays against the Saints, Bucks, Rams defense is pretty much gonna get a freebie. That's what the idea is. Carlos Hyde versus Dallas Cowboys. LeGarrette Blount versus Buffalo Bills. Isaiah Crowell versus Washington Redskins. Those are the starts that they say are definite. And the Saints sleepers: Charles Sims versus the Broncos and Jordan Howard versus the Lions. Oh, they're ragging on your Lions over there, bro. So sits, they're saying the sit of the week. This has been a universal thing. People saying it's gonna be a bust. Frank Gore. which most people are projecting him at 8 to 12 points for the week. Actually, most are on average around 10 to 13 points. And that's like standard scoring. But the thing is, even if he's going to be a bust, I think he's still good for 10. And it's like, who are you going to put in this place? Because I have, like, in place of Frank Gore, I have folks like Spencer Ware. Who else do I have? Chris Ivory. You know, people that are not really... Oh, and Tevin Coleman. Which there's talent there, but, like, really, as much as I hate to say it, Frank Gore is the safer choice right now. He's not going to have the upside, the dynamic play, but he's getting the most workload. Like, he is a workhorse back. So, unless he gets completely shut down... You know, he's good for at least, 8 points at the very worst, I would say. So, they're saying also sit TJ Yeldon versus the Colts. Jerick McKinnon versus New York Giants. Rashad Jennings versus the Minnesota Vikings. And then Jennings is also hurt, so that doesn't help. Well, he's not hurt, but he's a little dinged up. And Jay Ajayi versus the Bengals. They're saying busts. Matt Forte versus the Seahawks, and Latavius Murray at the Ravens. I can see Latavius Murray. I still like his talent. But it's really hard to sit Matt Forte. This is the one that I'm like, ooh. Like, Matt Forte, like, who are you going to replace him with? Because right now, he's the top 5 fantasy quarterback as far as I'm concerned. You know, you got David Johnson. Matt Forte, who else is there really that you count out week to week and who has that upside? No, see, no comment. Because there isn't anyone. Did we lose Obi? Oh. Oh, snap. I'm talking to myself. Well, I'm going to keep the show going, I guess. Because I can't restart the stream. Good thing I'm still recording. Oh. That's why the stream died. No! Alright, let me just redirect everybody here. Let me check my text messages real quick. And I'm over here asking Obi for a little feedback. Oh, we got another follow. Oh, and that went down. Ah. Let me see if I get him on the app. Get him on a mobile app for Discord. Yeah, he must have Comcast. I think actually that's kind of, I'm joking, but I think he did talk about switching to Comcast. I'm happier with Comcast now, but they're still. Ugh. It took over close to 2 years of fighting with them to finally get them to a place where they are completely shit. Yeah, so always the connection. His connection is bad. I said Obi is dead. I was like, did he die? No, not for real. Alright. So anybody else interested in football talk? And now I'll just run through some of the stuff. Quarterback. Let's see who their start of the week choices. Matthew Stafford versus the Chicago Bears. Carson Palmer is a go. Phillip Rivers. Kirk Cousins. Joe Flacco. Where they say sit, that's where it gets a little interesting. Sit of the week, Eli Manning. Oh man, he gets shitted on so much. Matt Ryan, another person that gets no love, but he is going against the Panthers. They tend to limit teams. Jameis Winston versus Denver Broncos. Derek Carr versus Baltimore Ravens, and You're only interested in the cheerleaders. They barely show the cheerleaders, I feel like. Alright. Checking the chat to see if Obi's joining on mobile. He's probably pissed right now. Alright. Wide receiver starts. Marvin Jones versus Chicago Bears started the week. T.Y. Hilton versus Jacksonville Jaguars. This is a guy that took a while to fire up, but after last week, it's really hard to sit him. So hopefully he keeps following that direction. I hope so, because I own him. At least in a couple of leagues. Larry Fitzgerald versus the Los Angeles Rams. Now, this is a crappy defense. But also you got to say, Fitzgerald, man, he's a veteran player, but this guy's like ageless, man. It's crazy. Like, he's still doing the plays. You think the NFL's losing viewers because they don't show the cheerleaders as much? That might be it. I feel like they need to do something more fun during halftime too. Not as, to the degree of Super Bowl, but something to like get the hype going. Fun stuff. Why did they wait till the Super Bowl? I don't know. I'm just spitballing here. Emmanuel Sanders versus Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Deshaun Jackson versus Cleveland Browns. Sit of the week, Julian Edelman versus Buffalo Bills. Brandon Marshall versus Seattle Seahawks. Jerry Maclin versus Pittsburgh Steelers. Sterling Shepard versus Minnesota Vikings. And Tavon Austin versus Arizona Cardinals. And again, I have a lot of these players that is breaking my heart. That's what they should have. They should bring back arena football and have like lingerie cheerleaders. People will love it. They try to do it. Not maybe that's that extreme, but I kind of like the whole XFL thing for the brief time it was around. It's like the cell phone market. There's so many sports. It's hard to have another league be successful. Like, it's saturated space. Last bit, tight end start of the week. Zach Miller versus Detroit Lions. Kobe Fleener versus San Diego Chargers. Kyle Rudolph versus the New York Giants. Dennis Pitta, let's talk about him. Versus Oakland Raiders. Eric Ebron versus the Chicago Bears. Set of the week is Martellus Bennett versus Buffalo Bills. Kind of disappointing. Gary Barnidge getting no love this season versus Washington Redskins. He did have a great season, a great game last week. Dwayne Allen versus Jacksonville Jaguars. This is another player that many people picked him up in later rounds, but we expected more value and hasn't lived up to it. And it's the Colts. You would think there would be more there. He was on the field for 83% of Colts offensive snaps last week, but he saw a modest 5 targets. Oh, he's losing some of his workload to Jack Doyle. Jack Doyle! That's why. Clive Walford versus Baltimore Ravens. Another sit that's kind of sad. And Jesse James versus Kansas City Chiefs. So those are your sits. The same busts are going to be Jimmy Graham at Jets and Jason Witten at 49ers. Well, Jason Witten's a Cowboys player, so that's automatically a bust. Just kidding. I'm terrible, I know. I'm terrible. Alright. So, I want to kind of share this also for Obi's benefit, but since he's not here, there's some quick insights, and then we'll move on. CBS Sports has reported that Week 4 may be the most brutal for running backs this season. I have to agree. All my studs have possibly their hardest matchups, or one of the hardest matchups this week. So at running back position, I'm really hurting right now in pretty much all my leagues. I mean, having the conversation, I should probably sit Matt Forte. No, I think I'm gonna start him anyway. I'm gonna be hard-headed, because who's the alternative, really? This is one of those things like, when is a must-start player not a must-start? You look at Matt Forte, D'Angelo Williams, who he's going to lose value because Le'Veon Bell is back. So that means the workload probably won't be there for Williams, or be a very awkward split. But then again, they'll probably ease him in. We'll see. I mean, people are really high on Bell. So Mark Ingram, another guy that's infuriating to own, but then he has the talent, and he still gets it done. But if he's not used, he's not used. Chris Ivory, he returned, and I think the talent's still there, but he's on the Jaguars, so yeah. I think it's also a committee thing for him as well. Jamal Charles, we were talking about that, and Des Bryant, don't get me started. So we'll talk more. We're still looking to maybe get a league started for week 6, circa October 15th, the middle next month. And I think we're gonna do it on Yahoo, so I can help OB manage it. We'll make it like a TSC, Geeky Antics, collabo league type of thing. I really feel Yahoo has the best default scoring, the deepest customization, and the best, hands down, the best mobile app. ESPN is really good though, because it gives you the live scoring. That's really nice little feature. I like the way they do that. But Yahoo is I just find it just much cleaner all around. Their website, people don't like it because it's a little confusing. There's a lot of detail there, but you pick it up. Nothing else to talk about as far as fantasy football? No, that's it. So we'll move on. Let's talk about what we've been watching, what we've been playing. That's WWBP, WWBW. Yeah, because everybody else does it, so we might as well do it too. So, podcast, I want to shout out Tangent Bound Podcast. They were talking about how the word tactical is overused. It's like a shitty marketing ploy where it's like, just put the word tactical or say it's survival gear to up the price. Because everybody, right now people really are in that mindset. They're good. We're going to have a world war. Everything's going to go to shit. Get ready for the worst. I mean, people are in that mindset. So there's people capitalizing on that. Whether it's, it's ethical or not. Heck, I mean, I think everybody should go for that pie if you can. If you could put out something tactical and actually offers value, go for it. But some of these people is just like, oh, I put some metal studs on it, now it's tactical, like silly things like that. Like, oh, I attached a flashlight to it, now it's tactical. Like, okay. They also talked about Star Wars Rebels. There's a good conversation there, talking a little about Doctor Who. Just a wide area, a wide variety of content there, which I really enjoy. And they go off on a tangent. I mean, you think we go off on rants, they definitely go off on rants. And it's great. We Be Geeks, I talked to last time. They've been talking a lot about DC and Marvel Universe stuff. And going to some throwbacks of old cartoons and like superhero shows. So that was good times. I also want to recommend Zombie Cast and Knuckleballer Radio. They've been having a lot of great conversations, a lot of great guests, including Alex SSO from The Neighbor and Starry Eyes. So definitely check them out. And of course, Ghostman and Demon Hunter, our latest addition to the Geeky Antics family. Great guys. They've been doing podcasting for over 10 years, radio as well, the traditional radio. They even had their own cable TV show on A&E, if I'm not mistaken. Was it A&E? Yeah, A&E. A show dedicated to paranormal. So, super proud to have them as part of our family of shows. And we'll forgive Sean Burris for being a Donald Trump supporter. Well, by the way, happy birthday to Sean. Definitely want to make sure I get that out there. And as far as fantasy football shows, podcasts that I get to listen to, Fantasy Footballer is one of the main ones I listen to. The Audible, the Fantasy Football Guys, and then there's Pyromaniac. Pyromaniac, they're one of the top podcasts out there, and they're doing really well. But there's a few things that bother me. Like, they're very broadcasty, and not in a good way. Like, they have a good rapport with each other. They clearly sync, but it's one of those things where they're like, there's too much inside baseball going on. It's kind of annoying. Like Bel Verde, I don't get it. Did I miss the joke? So I don't know. It's a great show though. They do have some good insights, but also the audio quality. There's a lot of like room echo and weird stuff. But in spite of that, they're one of the top shows on the charts on Stitcher and iTunes and all that, and one of the top fantasy football podcasts as well. So they're just topping the charts all over the place. So see, the fantasy football is like one of those niches that's really so strong. People just can't consume enough content, and I think if you could pack in a lot of value into a hour show, it's something worth doing, you know? You'd have to be really timely with getting your podcast out there, though, because a lot of that stuff is time sensitive. So it's something to consider, maybe for at least a pre-recorded show. So I wasn't gonna talk about the WWE pay-per-view, the Clash of Champions, but Obi's not here, and Fatal, I don't know where he's at. So what I will say is make sure you listen to Not Safe for Wrestling at NSFW. That podcast, you'll get insights about, predictions going into it, and then reactions. Actually, their reaction show should be this Saturday after Time Miami Tea Time, which we're gonna have a shorter show, which we're just gonna dedicate to things that we're working on internally and Extra Life. And I just want to really promote that. Just focus on that. This is going to be a very different format for the show this week, and I'm looking to go no longer than an hour. We'll see if we do. I have a feeling I'm gonna be doing it solo anyway. So Stan's traveling overseas, so keep him in your thoughts and prayers. Traveling is always a kind of scary thing. It's weird people, and people don't like Americans. It's dangerous. I'm not a big fan of travel. Maybe I'm a little paranoid. Fatal Blades, he's been just busy as heck, so probably another solo show. And no Doctor Who, so sad, but that does allow me to be a lot more productive. We'll be skipping some of the shows for TWTT as well to kind of get ahead of some other stuff. What are my cats doing? I keep hearing them rustling outside the man cave. They must be doing something really loud, because I have pretty decent sound dampening here, or soundproofing, if you will. So shows I've been watching, of course, saw the Mr. Robot season finale. That twist at the end didn't really shock me. I kind of saw it coming, and I don't want to spoil it, but it's kind of like one of those things, like, would be something that would really make me facepalm. Who's a character I don't really care as much about, or I find annoying? If they work her into some bit... Oh, I said too much already. Anyway, that's kind of where they went with it. But I'm excited for the next season. BFT said he's been wanting to binge some Doctor Who for a while now. Yeah, dude. So I think if I could get some buddies that want to, like, maybe we could group view some classic Who. Or maybe not even classic Who. Maybe we could just do new Who. Go back to some older seasons. Maybe David Tennant, Christopher Eccleston. Maybe I would actually like to restart season 1. Just because it's such a distinct season. And just talk about how far we've come in. Wow. 10 years. Because this is going to be season 10 of New Who. For the new Nuvians out there. But Doctor Who's been going on for over 50 years. It's crazy. It's a rich universe. So maybe that's something we could do as a group, and then we could take down notes and then talk about it on the show. Do some Doctor Who flashbacks. We haven't did that too much lately. Get that fixed, but at the very least we'll get the Christmas episode. So there's that. American Horror Story. I haven't caught up this week. Watching that. Let's say Gotham, Fear the Walking Dead. Lethal Weapon, I saw one episode of that. I really liked that. and Designated Survivor. Is that all I've watched? I feel like I'm missing something. So I don't know where to start, because so Lethal Weapon, I'm going to say again, unlike the Rush Hour show, this show looks like it actually might have legs. They did a great job at casting. There's great action in there. It really feels like you're watching the movie broken up into episodes. And the comedy's good. So it's not going to be a deep story type of thing. There are some feels, so I give them that. But it's mainly just going to be like one of those big dumb fun, like a summer blockbuster should be. So this is just a summer blockbuster in the fall. Yeah, why not? So I think it's going to find its place. It's going to be one of the things where I think scheduling is going to be a big thing as well. There are people that still watch stuff live. And that's really what Nielsen ratings really take into account for. You know, speaking of which, I just... what are you doing, Blue? I just I mentioned, I think I posted in one of our groups or on the Facebook. Was it on our... I posted it somewhere on Facebook. I don't remember now. But I got our household actually got a survey for Nielsen. We might become a Nielsen household, which is a very rare thing. Just being selected for the survey portion is rare. And then you have to qualify for further follow-ups, and you know, it's like they keep thinning the herd. So that'd be kind of neat. I don't know if I'm allowed to disclose. Well, yeah, it didn't say there's no NDA or anything, so possibly. I wonder if there's something like when you become a Nielsen household that you can't announce it. I bet you there's something like that. I know that they like, I forget how exactly it works, but they like pay for your cable bill, so you get full cable, so you can really like watch TV the way you want. And I think there's other incentives in there too. The trade-off is that, you know, they expect you to watch a lot of TV and go through the processes and do third-party surveys and all that stuff. You know, there's no such thing as a free lunch, but it's pretty neat. Anyway, that was a tangent and a half. Fear the Walking Dead, I'm really impressed with how far the show has come. Though it's interesting, like, I think on The Walking Dead, the mainstay show, you have characters that people love talking about and are really interested in. On Fear the Walking Dead, most people that I've talked to, like, the consensus really seems to be that there's no lovable characters. You know, who do people like? Nick, because he's weird and he looks like a young Johnny Depp. And that's about it. And then there's maybe like the hot girls, just because they're eye candy. You know, you got Madison, who's the MILF, Ophelia, who's the hot Latina, and who's the girl? I forget her name. Ashley? I don't know. See, it doesn't even matter. I used to be a big fan of Travis, but they've kind of made his character derpy. The whole thing with his son, like, look, your son's a dick. Let him go. I know blood is blood, but he's a freaking loose cannon, and no one wants him around. So he's dead to the world. And by the way, I don't think he's gonna live much longer anyway. So that kid's on a path of self-destruction. It's tough being a parent because you imagine if your kid was a serial killer. You probably still love your kid. You'd probably even try to protect them. Everybody said, no, I wouldn't do that. But, you know, like, we don't really know until you're in a situation. And a lot of parents enable their kids. We do it all the time. We make excuses for them, make it easy for them to have bad habits. And it's really hard as a parent to just put your foot down, draw a line, and say, look, that's it. No more. If you cross this line, that'll be the point of no return, and I'm done. And you got to cut them loose sometimes. So they explore that particular thing. I think is like one of the biggest ones that I've seen in the show, and that makes it compelling enough. And it's also kind of it's fun to see again closer to 0 hour of the zombie outbreak, because again, that's something you don't usually see too much in zombie stories. It's usually well after the outbreak, you know, or a little, like a good amount after, but not when it's actually really going down, and you watch society fall, you know, and crumble. So I appreciate that in the show, but it doesn't seem like we're gonna get real origin stories. from Robert Kirkman ever, and he's kind of said that before, I think, too. Designated Survivor. Again, if you're a fan of 24, I gotta say, this show, I'm really enjoying it. Oh! OB is back.
Yeah, blow me.
OB, I love you. Welcome back, bro.
I'm about to shove this internet line up fucking Charter's ass.
Dude, you sound so different. You sound like someone calling into a radio station. Caller number 5, you're on the line. Tell us what you think about this week's debate.
Yeah, go fuck yourself.
Sir, can you turn on your TV set? It's creating a little feedback. Thank you.
Yeah, sir. Again, go fuck yourself.
It'd be radio.
You can't say fuck on the air, blah, blah, blah.
Like, damn it, our guy wasn't fast enough with the bleep. So yeah, we're just talking. We're doing the what we've been watching. So we'll get to the WWE in a second. I was talking about Fear the Walking Dead, the Lethal Weapon show, Mr. Robot, and I was about to get to Gotham and I was just talking about Designated Survivor. Have you watched that yet? No.
No.
So yeah, if I was saying if you're a fan of 24, or you like those more political dramas, it's really good. I'm actually really impressed with it. I might be a little biased. Like Kiefer Sutherland is just like that lovable asshole, and he kind of always plays the same role. But it's a little different here, surprisingly. He's not like this badass. He's actually almost a pushover in some ways. It's a story of a guy put into a shitty situation. He's got to rise to the occasion, lead our country, and we're seeing. It looks like the whole thing's going to be him going from being a fall guy or a pushover to being like a hero, or really being a strong leader. So like that seeing that evolution. It's some good casting decisions on this show too. It's got that. What's her name? She used to be on Californication. She played David Duchovny's wife. You know what I'm talking about? She's got the doughy, sleepy eyes.
Damn, I do know what you're talking about. I just can't think of her name.
I always found her very attractive. She's that really cute blonde girl. Ah, gosh, what is her name? It's gonna come to me later. It's not Zoe. It's Emma. No. I don't feel like looking up either. It'll come to me later. Someone will remember. But she's in it. It's got what's the god from Harold and Kumar. Isn't his name Penn? Sean? No, not Sean Penn. What's the guy's name? I can't remember any names tonight.
Fucking thinking about UFC, aren't you?
No, yeah, I was thinking about that. That's BJ Penn. Him, I know. No, this is it was the Indian guy from, or the East, I guess he's not necessarily Indian, he's Pakistani or something. I don't know, but you know what I mean. He's the brown
racist.
The brown brother from overseas that was in Harold and Kumar, and he actually had a little stint. He took a little break from acting and was working in Washington D.C. and now he's back on TV. And back acting, and he's on a political drama. How fitting is that? That's kind of cool, because he's had the real life experience. You know, like it's funny.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
So it's just cool.
The guy that actually worked for he was in the first season or the second season of Sleepy Hollow. He was
No, that's the Asian dude. That's the other dude. That's Harold, right? I'm talking about Kumar.
The Kumar guy.
Yeah. Good call back though. I remember that. I kind of missed him after they got rid of him, but he was a cool character.
Well, Malik did kind kind of snap his back, you know.
Yeah. He was on borrowed time. Yeah, but he's in it. I mean, it's just interesting that bringing that a strong pedigree to the show, and there's some like newer rising stars in there. I think the show's gonna be a good run, and it's kind of interesting too. The timing of it's talking about the United States, you know, kind of crumbling and everything going into kind of anarchy and just trying to rebuild our government, and then we're talking about, you know, we're looking at our, you know, presidential election, you know, and you got shitty Donald Trump and shitty Hillary Clinton. It's like, well, do I want to get, you know, my head exploded or my dick shot off? I don't like either one really, but I guess I have to choose one. Blue doesn't like it either. So Designated Survivor.
You don't have to choose one.
You don't? What's the option? Move out of the country?
No, just don't vote.
But then you know, they'll win by default. You know, so it's like you can't. Yeah, it's tough. You have to choose the lesser evil. I feel like, because one of them is gonna win. That's why I hate the two-party system.
I really feel like, I mean, there's really strong support for the Hillary. There's really strong support for Mr. Toupee too. So I mean, it's something that I really think. I mean, if I have to absolutely vote, I'm not going independent because that doesn't solve the problem. I mean, I probably have to say Trump just because his quote-unquote agenda kind of meets up with what I think the country should be doing. Do I agree with building a wall around the United States? No, I don't. But do I agree with a lot of his stuff that he's talking about? We're not going to get into it, guys, but I do. So that being said, we'll move on to the next subject.
Well, you know, it's interesting too because Designated Survivor really gets into the behind-the-scenes stuff of what politics really is about. It's about understanding emotional triggers and knowing how to use leverage and parlaying your way out of a situation, like knowing when to defuse a situation and when to use a show of force. And dude, it's just it's really cool, and it speaks to a lot of the stuff that's going on right now and some of the stuff we're gonna see down the road. So I'd recommend it wholeheartedly and say it's a must-watch if you like the kind of thing. And I'm not a big politics guy, though people have often told me I should be a politician, and I don't know how I should feel about that.
That's what they should have done, dude. Is they should have made the presidential race a island survivor, the one that come out the not dead. You can be president, sure.
I guess that'd be better than the current process. Sure, why not?
Bernie's gonna come out of the wood line going, "Feel the burn, bitches! Feel the burn."
That would be hilarious. But see, Donald Trump could hide shit under his toupee, so he could play dirty. I don't know. By the way, you guys should check out our memes album on our Facebook page. One of the memes we started it all. We just started the album, and we just went Donald Trump crazy. And one of the ones is comparing Donald Trump's toupee to a husk of corn. And it's like they're twins. You gotta, and the caption is, "Who wore it better?" That's the funny thing about that. That has gotten so many shares and likes, right? But then, like, it's like, hey, let's support, you know, Extra Life and help kids that have cancer and multiple sclerosis. And it's like, so it's like, I'm just gonna start sharing shitty, like, and then Extra Life and then extra stuff to like. That's people were shit.
Oh, didn't you know the fucking new season of The Voice started? So they got to start voting.
Boy. Boy. Oh.
New season of Dancing with the Stars just started. So you think you can dance? Another new season just started with that. So it's voting time, man. Even if you don't vote for the president, vote for your most favorite person that you think can dance.
Vote for them. The people vote for. I'm surprised they shut and I did. They're out like now. So what up?
Nope.
Just with Mr. Jalen Smith, love her. That's just the most bad. She's late. Bad. Did good and Ivy. One. Did I lose you again?
Lucifer, I missed some of the. I fell asleep when I was watching it earlier, so let's go with Agents of Shield.
Though I will say Lucifer, I only saw the first episode of the season. I like how it's starting off. There's some good story arcs going on there. People coming back. That's always good. Some awkward relationships. That's all I'm gonna say. But I'm really excited with that show. That show's going in a good direction. So Agents of Shield. So the big talk about Agents of Shield, if you haven't heard it, I mean, it's kind of a spoiler, but it really isn't. There's a new Ghost Rider in town, and they did not spare any expense like highlighting that. This is not the Johnny Blaze or Carter kind of classic Ghost Rider that we may know from the comics or from the movie. It's Robbie. What is his name? Robbie Rodriguez. Robbie Reyes. Robbie Reyes. There you go. Robbie Reyes.
I can't think of it.
Yeah, it's Robbie Reyes. This was interesting. Like a lot, like the people that know more have been keeping up with comics more than I have. And I'm so out of touch with comics these days. But they're saying that he's not really like a true Ghost Rider because he doesn't have the spirit of vengeance. It's something different. Like apparently he, and you know this might be a huge spoiler, but people are if they keep in line with the comic, they're saying that he's actually possessed with a different kind of spirit, and it's something more notorious. Like the spirit of vengeance is kind of a good thing because it represents justice, but it just does it in a really OP way. But like this Ghost Rider is more borderline chaotic good, maybe evil. So, but he has a code that he.
I don't think he's evil.
Yeah, I don't think he's evil either. But he's kind of like he's on a thin line, because he has a code, right? So he's honorable, but like if you get in his way, he will fuck you up. So he already has had several run-ins with Daisy, and things are getting interesting there. So, what do you think about we saw what happened with May. We won't spoil that, but that's kind of unfortunate. She's getting like less screen time. It looks like Daisy seems to be a big focus right now, but I personally don't like where they're taking her right now. Like, I'm not digging it. I understand where she's coming from. She's very distraught. She's trying to find herself. She almost blames herself, and she doesn't want to connect with people, because if you love people, then you'll experience loss, right? Do you like where they're going with her?
But she's been trying to find herself. No, I don't. She's been trying to find herself since the fucking show started, dude. Like, you know what the fuck you are. You know what you need to do. Do it. If you don't want to be on their side, don't. If not, I mean, damn, make up your mind.
Dude, this has the makings of a face heel turn or whatever you call it.
It sure damn does. Like, she's going to the dark side, and they just don't see it yet.
Yeah, dude, I'd be pissed if that's where they go with this. Because, like, they've been...
That caused me to stop watching, sir.
I don't know if I stopped watching, but, like, they feature her so much, and I feel like she needs to have redemption, because if she doesn't really stabilize and become a real team player and get out of this freaking emo, angst-ridden kind of shit that she's been in, this funk that she's been in, like you said from the beginning, it's just changing flavors, but it's still the same thing, really. Then that means the Shield is a failure, and they've been just wasting their time all this time. Like, that's not I don't like that story at all. That's a shitty story that's a shitty direction to go into. So, I don't know. Right now, it seems like it's set up.
This is going to be a pretty good season, so we'll see what happens, and then we'll talk shit at the end.
Yeah, outside of that, I'm really happy with where they're going with it. I'm loving it because you got the restructuring of Shield. They're getting ready to bring Shield back out of the shadows and make them into a credible, reputable organization. Now that Hydra's gone, or at least we think they are. And, you know, Coulson didn't want the leadership position, so someone else has stepped up as director. And that's something in itself is very interesting. I like his character a lot. They're setting up a lot.
I like the toys that Fitz gives him. Like his hand turned into a fucking, you can look through walls and stuff.
Oh, the toys that Fitz has given Coulson, yeah. He keeps upgrading his hand, man. Every time he gets a new hand, it's like got new things. Can opener, you know, X-ray vision. Sure, why not? But the thing with that, remember last season they did the whole bit with you know, because of the prosthetics, the technology they were developing, and then that scientist they were working with, you know, he kind of disappeared, and it turns out like he's taken some of their tech and built upon it. So that's an interesting story arc in itself. This is gonna be a really good season, man. And this is another show that started off kind of slow. It was a slow burn, but it keeps getting better and better, which, you know, is the opposite of from what other shows do. You know, a lot of shows go in, they're like guns blazing out the gate, and then they go down the drain. So I'm happy to see Shield really kind of come into its own. It's not just a show that's supplementing the movies and, you know, the MCU. It's its own thing, and I like that. So, anything else about Shield?
No, there's not enough going on right now yet to actually really get into anything special.
How do you feel about Mac or Yo-Yo?
Mac is just the same dick he has been since Season 1. Yo-Yo, I don't know. She's too eager to jump in and whoop some ass from where I'm standing.
Yeah. She's a typical Latina, too. Ball buster, temptress. Don't mess with her.
She needs to slow the fuck down, for real.
Mac is funny, because, like, he's like a walking contradiction in many ways. Like
Have you seen, like, they were getting pretty close? Like,
yeah.
what's been going on behind the scenes, bruh?
Well, he's like she's going hard after him, and he's kind of like, no, let's slow things down. It's like role reversal. It's weird, but I dig it though. I dig it. So you want to talk about WWE, the Clash of Champions?
We can, yeah.
So real quick, just quick highlights, and then we'll talk about. I guess we can go into what we've been playing and wrap up with our feature discussion. Actually, we don't have that much time when I look at it. So any quick highlights of WWE, the Clash of Champions?
I can't get on my computer and look anything up like you know how my memory is, man. It sucks.
Well, I liked the triple threat Divas fight. Was it Sasha Banks, Charlotte, and Bayley, right? Is that right?
Yep.
So, I love Bayley. Bayley's a very interesting character because she's like all about hugging people, and she's all bubbly, and she's got the crazy little inflatables in her intro. She's sweet. She's cute, but like I just don't see her having. I don't think she's ready to be a champion yet. And we were saying that Charlotte's gonna probably win this, and of course she did. But how she won is the real bullshit, because Sasha really should have worked with Bayley more, and then just taking out Charlotte, and then focused on each other. But she kept taking pot shots at Bayley, which I know they're friends, and she said we're not friends in the ring, but I still think that's grimy. So.
You got. Damn it! You got to think about hey, when it comes down to the championship, people do weird shit.
Yeah, but again, like they would have been better focusing on Charlotte, who's the bigger threat, and then she let her emotions get in the way because she has a big grudge against Charlotte, whatever. But, it was silly. They gave that to Charlotte. Yeah, that's fine. We saw it coming, and it was fun to watch. Can't remember anything else. Like Kevin Owens fight, meh. Then we had what was the fight that was like a best of 7, and this was supposed to be the last match to determine.
That was Cesaro and Sheamus.
That's right.
And they both got a double count out.
Yeah, so that's like a technical knockout type of thing, and it's a tie, so they're gonna have to have another fight. I mean, they were really beat up. They sold that well. I kind of was going. I don't know if I was going for Sheamus or Cesaro because they're both kind of douchey. And Cesaro's from Sweden, I think, and then Sheamus is the evil redhead, evil ginger. Kind of like this co-host I have, lovable but still evil.
Blow me, bitch.
So you were probably Team Sheamus, weren't you? You're like, we gingers gotta stick together.
No, I don't like Sheamus.
Dude, it's funny though, cause like I was looking at him and I'm like, you could pull off a Sheamus if you really wanted to.
Alright.
Though
we need to move on before I become racist.
Though he's more pale than you. That guy's even more pale than you, dude. Like, he's really pale. Like, his skin
is... shut the fuck up!
So, yeah, there was that. What else was there that night for that pay-per-view? I don't remember now.
Like I said, I can't look anything up right now. Otherwise, I would look it up and tell you exactly what I know.
So yeah, if I don't remember off the top of my head, it probably wasn't that big. So anyway, you know what? Just listen to NSFW, Not Safe for Wrestling, right here on Geeky Answer Network. Go to geekyanswer.net/podcast or listen to it on iTunes, Stitcher, TuneIn Radio, all the places you get great podcasts. And you could listen to the predictions before you watch the pay-per-view.
You're not a real podcaster unless you don't put it there.
I uploaded it.
No, you said all this like iTunes, Stitcher, blah blah blah, and I said because you're not a real podcaster unless you syndicate it there.
Oh yes, but don't get me started on that rant again. Yeah, you gotta put it on a different platform, not just iTunes, for Pete's sake, or have a video. Jesus, crazy. That's WWE. Let's talk about what we've been playing. We gotta wrap it up soon, and then we could talk a little bit about Rainbow Six Siege. I was gonna go deep on Siege, but actually we went longer than I thought we would. So what have you been playing lately?
Really, there's about the same, a lot of the same stuff, right? We've gotten into, we started raiding with the guild. We were 4 out of 7 in normal. Yeah, it's 2 weeks into it. So, but we're 4 out of 7 normal. I'm one of the main tanks in the guild as a bear, and we've been playing lots of Rocket League lately, getting footage and stuff like that, and then been playing Siege with you and kind of just hanging out. I've been really busy, not playing much. I've been really busy with the org lately, so it's one of those things where I'm trying to get in game time when I can, but it's seldom anymore.
Yeah, it's been like that for me for a while, but I finally just made the decision. Like I had a rough month, a very busy month, productive, but I was like, you know what, I need to relax a little bit, 'cause all work, no play, no good. So I'm getting back into the gaming groove. Hearthstone is always there. Fantastic, I'm still playing a little bit, but that's a time sink, so I gotta be careful with that. My wife keeps roping me into my singing monsters, and of course you like Rainbow Six Siege. I played Overwatch. I've been sampling a lot of the stuff on Xbox One. Really, been really sticking to that. Rocket League I played a little bit. We should get with Rarapuda. He's been getting some games going on there though. He's another person that's really big on Minecraft. Yeah, and he should connect with Morgana. That's like his mainstay. But Rocket League we should jam on some more. So yeah, I think next week I'd like to go deep on Overwatch and Rainbow Six Siege if we get some good game time in this weekend, which we should. I did want to talk. I did have a whole segment planned for Rainbow Six Siege, so we'll probably do that next week. I do want to make sure people go download the Club Ubisoft mobile app, so you could do the challenges in the games. And then with the Rainbow Six Siege, you could track your progress, accept the challenges, collect the rewards. And you could do things like the GSG-9, that's the German forces. There's 2 challenges there. You could get a German flag weapon charm, or a pretzel weapon charm. It's pretty neat. Racist, but neat. But you need to win 20 and 30 rounds respectively in multiplayer. I might even play some more after the show, so we're gonna probably wrap it up early. I know Obi has to get going, but yeah, definitely do that. And for those that want to be part of an Xbox club, I think next month, or the month after, I believe it's probably gonna be in November that they're gonna roll out Xbox clubs and LFG officially. I have to double check what the timeline is, but it's still in preview. So if you want to get on the preview program, let me know. I'm YogiZilla on Xbox Live, and I still have some invites to send out. I'll get you on there, but keep in mind, like I said, I can send you the invites, but you won't get it until Microsoft approves the request. So I'll get you invited, but it doesn't mean it's gonna be guaranteed. But I'll do my best to get as many people on there, so we can start taking advantage of the LFG feature. It makes it a lot easier to party up and see what everybody's playing, and set groups up without having to go through all the rigmarole of hunting people down, text messaging, posting things on Facebook, tweeting. It's like, it shouldn't be this hard. But I gotta say, man, this with Rainbow Six,
lazy bastard,
dude, I could only split myself up so much. Now I've caught up on Star Wars Battlefront, Overwatch, Warframe, World of Tanks, Battlefield 4, and Smite, but Rainbow Six Siege is it for me, man. Like, that's the more I play that game, the more I want to play it. Like, that's a good game. It's very rare a game makes you want to do that. Most of the time, like I love Overwatch, but I can only play it for so long unless I have a good group and we're like joking around and having a good time, or just doing really well. But most games I can only play in small doses. This Rainbow Six Siege, I can keep playing it again and again which is crazy considering most of the time, unless you're, you know, you have a hot streak going, you're dead and you're just watching everybody else play. Yeah, you can support your team to an extent, but you're not really actively engaged with the match. There's something really special about this game. It's not just that it's sticky, that, you know, it has high replay value, and a big part of it is that this is a game they're constantly updating and providing free content with, and you know, everything you see from in terms of marketing, in terms of PR, Ubisoft is really committed to this game as a platform, and they're doing it right. They have had a better, you know, better plan, a more solid plan. They've had better results than what Bungie has done with Destiny. And you know, Destiny's a great game, but to me, there's been so many missteps. They've taken a big shit all over the Xbox community, the people that put Bungie on the map. Let's be honest, and it's been kind of a cash grab. And for people to say a year later, like after the year 2 content came out, they're like, "Oh, they're like, this is the game we've been waiting for." Yeah, a year later and over $100 later, they should have made those changes long ago. And people on Xbox, you gotta wait even longer for that content. Rainbow Six Siege, they're doing it right. And you look at the things, they have a team. According to Ubisoft, they have a dedicated team, supposedly. I don't believe that, but I see that they are listening and executing upon what the community's feedback is. But they said they have a dedicated team of 80 people that's listening to and implementing feedback frequently. Not after a year, frequently and quickly. I mean, there's constant updates to this game, even when they don't have big expansions or patches going through. They have 4 seasons planned of content every year, but it's little small, you know, changes here and there. There's no paywall. That's something they committed to. No paywall. Everything can be earned by putting the time in. No community split. Again, that's a huge thing. The maps are free, so the community isn't split up. Everybody can play together, and that's the way multiplayer-focused games should be. You split up your community, you're gonna kill your own game. You know, people say, "Well, it's really expensive to get these operators, and you got the season pass and all these microtransactions." Yeah, but you don't have to get any of that shit. But you know what? I wish I had the money to put into it, because I want to give them a tip for having a good game and treating the community like they matter. Like, I'm really happy with this game, man. I mean, how do you feel about it, Obi? Now, this is a game that we've been playing for over a year, and we're still talking about it. That's special.
Well, for me, I enjoy it. I'm not one of those, as you know, I'm not one of the hardcore get in there, get a whole bunch of hours. Like, I only play a little bit at a time. Just because anymore, like, if I'm gonna play a game, I'm gonna invest into that game and actually play for a while. If I can't play for more than just a few hours, like, I really don't want to play.
Yeah.
I know it's sad to say, but it's true.
Yeah, and that's the nice thing about this game. It's pick up and play. You could play it, for a half hour, an hour, and enjoy it, or you could play for several hours and enjoy it. Like, that's to me the mark of a good game. But it is more fun when you can actually commit the time, because you don't want to like be on the clock and be like, I gotta get going, and then go into a match goes into overtime like we did earlier. We should have won that. That was my bad. But that was a good match, though. We played right before the show, by the way, folks, and it was a good time. That's what I kind of came into the show hype, because I was still coming off the adrenaline rush, like as if I was actually physically running in the game, like in that world. Like, yeah, let's get him. It's like that game gets me pumping like that. Like, I really get into, like, my body tenses up and like my palms get sweaty, and I'm like, someone around this corner. Where's I hear shooting, or I hear something breaking. I'm like, where's it coming from? And it's even worse when people don't communicate. Which is another thing I don't get. Like, at this point in the console generations, microphones, console gamers by now should all be into voice chat and should all have microphones. It's even easier now to use any. You could bring your own microphone, your headset from your cell phone. Pretty much everyone has one of those. But people still don't have mics in ranked. I'm not even talking about casual or terrorist. I understand that. That's not as serious. But if you're playing ranked, it's for keeps. This is a game that's team focused. You cannot be a lone wolf. If you're not communicating, there's not even any point in playing. You know, 'cause yeah, you can mark things on the map, but like communicating is gonna be far more effective. Say, hey, that guy shot me from that area. You know, oh, I saw him come through that window near you. Be careful around that corner. Don't peek around that corner. You know. So I'm over here like, you know, communicating. Sometimes I'm just talking to myself because like no one. I don't know if they hear me. I don't know if, you know, they're in their party chat. Like, I don't understand these younger generations. Like going to party chat to talk with friends that are not playing the game they're playing. So they're playing ranked, which is something that really you should concentrate on. You know, I don't take it as seriously, but at least respect other people's time that want to get their rank up. They want to at least have a competitive match. That's why they're doing ranked. And you're just going in there willy-nilly, you know. Meanwhile, you're in a party chat, private party, talking with your friends, you know, about, you know, the last girl you fingered or the sandwich you made an hour ago. Like, okay, yes, do that on your own time. Thank you. And the reason I know this is because sometimes I'll just poke on the player list and see what they're doing. I'll see they're in a party, and I'm like, and then I'll poke into the party to see who's in the party, and no one is in the match. Like, what are you doing? It's like I said, the really weird metaphor I came up with the other day was like, it's like saying, hey, let's play football, and then you decide not to bring a football. Like, well, this isn't really football then. Like, what's the point? They don't come with the proper gear, and why bother? You're setting yourself up for failure.
Right.
Anyway. That's it. That's my little rant. So next week we'll revisit a lot of these topics. We'll talk about some of the tips and tricks we picked up along the way, some of the new operators since we last really talked about the game, some of our favorite maps, and general things. But before we wrap up the show, I do want to say that something we will look into is the virtual economy, because people complain about how much of a grind it is. And again, I think they have a good balance. Maybe they could, you know, balance it a little further. Because right now, the way they intend is that in order for you to unlock a new operator, if you don't have the season pass or don't just buy it with real money, I think each operator is like $5-10 outright. If you just buy them outright, so for that you might as well just get the season pass for what is it, $30-50, you know, and you could get a bundle that might come with extra, you know, virtual currency. You know, they do those deals all the time. Buying a la carte isn't the way to do it. Unless you're grinding out the in-game currency. But they basically estimate that it's about 25 hours of gameplay to unlock an operator. That's a bit of a commitment. I think you could do, if you're really aggressive, you could do 5 hours in a day, or you know, they talk about a week's worth of gameplay to get an operator. It's a bit of a bit much, and that's if you're really playing hardcore. And I did some of my own math, and the average match you get a minimum of 200 points, 200 in-game currency, whatever they call it, R6 points. They have two currency, like most things. You have the premium currency and then the in-game currency. One you buy with money, one you just earn in-game. But these new operators cost 25K of the in-game currency. You're getting 200 minimum each match, whether you win or lose. So you figure it's about 100 matches, you know, or so. You know, I'm using very loose math, of course. I'm not trying to actually divide it, but it's a bit of a grind. But I think, you know, it's something, it gives you something to look forward to. And you look at Overwatch. I love the gameplay of Overwatch. It's a beautiful game. Every time I'm in there, I'm just enjoying the graphics and the banter from the characters, and it's just fun. But I have to say, like, not having things to unlock, not having that sense of progression, and I'm not a very competitive person, but it makes me feel less attached to it. So that's something to consider.
That's how I feel with the, what game is it that we started playing on Xbox and then everybody quit? Tom Clancy's The Division.
See, The Division has a lot of loot, though. Like, I'm definitely going back to that game. I want to buy the expansions, though. The only reason I haven't done it, because I want to hit the underground. I want to hit up incursions. But I agree. Like you don't have that much of a sense of progression if you're playing is small amounts here and there. So then that's that sense of immediate gratification. But like Overwatch, what do you really get? You unlock loot box time you level up, and that's pretty much it. There's not that much stuff to really unlock, you know, unless you're gonna spend money. It's kind of an unfortunate business model for a game that's really great, you know. I mean, even Star Wars Battlefront gives you more of a sense of progress with the stuff you unlock, and that game is not very balanced. I still enjoy it, but you know, it's not balanced very well. We'll talk about this more next time. Hopefully, Obi and I play this week. We'll get more of the community involved, the folks for Horrible Gamers, all games communities. We'll get some ranked in. It's so fun, and that's how you really get better. Because I love to challenge you as much. It's a challenge, but the computer is very different the way players play. You know, and you can never get a computer where AI players to shoot that hostage by accident. Now that's hilarious. That with the nitro cell exploding the hostage by accident. You get fancy.
Yeah, the hostage. Let me put it in perspective. The hostage was right by the door, and we were coming in that door. And the guy threw a charge right at the foot of the door jamb. So when he blew it up to try to kill our guys, he blew up the hostage instead.
Yeah. That's the key trying to get with, like, you're the last person alive in your team. You go back to basics. You don't try to get fancy with that. That you know, using explosive leaves you vulnerable, and it's also risky because you could actually misthrow and end up exploding yourself. And that's what he did. He gave us that match. I mean, he was gonna lose anyway, but you know, he had to go fancy, like 360 no scope, jump style shot, snipe. You know, it's like, no, just keep it simple. That's the generation. That's the generational gap talking, or just me being an old fogey, I guess. I'm okay with that. One last thing before we move on. So wrapping up the show. R6maps.com is a really neat little website that lets you preview the maps and get a feel for them, how they're laid out. It's pretty cool. So I recommend that. Nice little tool, because knowing the maps is a big part of this game. So you know, you could go into it fresh and be effective, but once you know the maps, it helps out a lot more. I mean, you still want to check your corners. You still want to move in pairs if possible. Check for traps, etc. But yeah, r6maps.com. Oh, any last thoughts before we wrap it up?
Fuck Charter. And, of course, you guys can find me everywhere at TSC Obi-Wan Kenobi on YouTube, at TSC Obi-Wan on Twitter. And, make sure you guys watch my YouTube page. We got some information and some news coming out on Top Star Esports, which is the org that I call all the time. So, make sure you guys pay attention to that, and hope you guys can share in with the news that's going to happen here in a day or so.
Word. And don't forget, folks, HorsePLAY Live is everywhere you can listen to or download awesome podcasts, including allgames.com, Google Play Music, iTunes, Player FM, Stitcher, TuneIn Radio, and now Cast. That's right, the Cast app on Xbox One. We're everywhere. We're just spreading out like a bad case of herpes, but you know what? You live with us, and you learn to love it and deal with it. Don't forget to take a few minutes out to thumbs up, favorite, subscribe, and share. Even better, we love some reviews and comments. It's quick, easy, and it really helps us out. Huge thanks to everyone that's been promoting our content. Every little bit helps, and you know, it helps us, you know, realize our dreams. And if you like eye candy, we're on YouTube, youtube.com/geekyantics. We're also on Twitch, which we're streaming on right now, twitch.tv/geekyantics. And that's pretty much all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to say for now. You know, check out some links, geekyantics.net/schedule, geekyantics.net/podcast, so you can see more of our stuff. Of course, our Facebook page. Just look up Geeky Answers on Facebook, Google us, you know, you'll find us, and then we can connect and keep the conversation going, keep the fun going, between shows, between streams, and do great things together. I'm Yogizilla everywhere, Xbox Live, Twitter, Tumblr, Skype, and all that good stuff. And with that, folks, we're going to end it. And don't forget, join us on Xbox Live. Let's play some Rainbow Six Siege. I am obsessed right now. I'm hyped. It's been a long time since I've been this hyped about games again. Again, it's good to be here. Join us. Come on. Stop being lurkers. Let's play games together. It'll be fun. I'll even play some Rocket League. Let's just do it. Let's do it. Right? Right, Obi? All right, good talk. All right, folks. See you next week, and see you Saturday for those that listen to TT, talking about tea time. See you this Saturday. Peace.
Right.
Wow, delayed. Oh, by the way, what was this?
Dude, I'm on my fucking phone. Fuck off.
I know. I gotta fuck with you. Oh, you know what? I'm gonna end with the theme song for our upcoming podcast. This was produced by Stephen D. Gibson, aka SG from R9 Cast, and it's titled, tentatively titled "Bits." It's for our new gaming show that's gonna be talking about game theory, game design, psychology, gaming, stuff like that. It's gonna be really cool, behind the scenes kind of show. It's a very explore some of the niche topics that we all think about. All right, here we go. That song gets me hyped every time. Again, that was our new theme song for our upcoming show, but we're going to use it as an outro just to switch things up. And, let you know that we're doing other things. We got other people helping us out. Beautiful things are happening. Thank you to SG for putting that track for there. It's a little long for intro, but, I'm long-winded, so it works. And, we'll probably use it as an intro and outro or one or the other, depending on the mood. Don't forget, connect with us, facebook.com/Geeky Antics. geekyantics.net/blog/podcast/extra life. Tons of links. Be part of our community. We got Facebook groups on for Geeky Antics. Probably gonna do the fantasy football thing. Beautiful things are happening. Be a part of it. It's all about you. It's all about teamwork. It's all about community. But it only happens that everybody does the little things to do something greater than themselves. So anyway, folks, we'll see you next time. Peace.